Nearly 1 year ago, I decided to give my beauty routine a makeover in hopes of living a little bit more sustainably every day. I came across Kjaer Weis in my clean beauty journey, a brand which is acclaimed for their organic and natural certifications, refillable packaging, and supply chain transparency. Founder Kirsten Weis sat down with me behind our respective computer screens to discuss clean beauty and the future of makeup in the midst of a truly unprecedented time. So I know a little bit about your background. I know you started as a makeup artist, but I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to start your own line of products, specifically organic makeup
Yeah.
and hair.
My background is that of a makeup artist. Really, what I had in terms of product in my kit were conventional brands. And I started just experiencing and seeing firsthand the issues all the models that I was working on had with their skin. It really caught my attention because first off, I just saw the normalcy in buying something, accepting I'm allergic to this, putting it aside and not really questioning it. Initially, I wanted it to just be natural. I wanted it to be a line that had no synthetics to the point where you almost eat it. And it turned out with the manufacturer that we worked closely with in Italy that they had actually built relationships with organic farmers around the world. When I realized it could go from natural to organic, and so for me, it's similar to eating an apple that's conventional, it's been sprayed, that's great. But if you can have one that hasn't, I would pick the one that hasn't.
How do you define clean beauty or makeup that is sustainable?
So clean beauty it's actually, I find, hard to define because in many ways it's perception. I think it's safe to say that certain ingredients that are truly questionable, like lead, has to be out of the equation in terms of calling it clean. But then it starts getting a little muddy, because for some, a clean brand can still use silicones. They can still use a microplastic. I still think that there's a layer of products that takes it to an even higher level. And the sustainability piece goes two ways. If the sustainability piece is ties all the way back into like the farming, the organic farming, not putting pesticides on the fields, etc. It's also how we treat and pay these farmers well. That's, to me, has a sustainable aspect to it, like a holistic sort of humanity. But then of course it translates into the packaging as well.
And it's so funny you touched on the packaging. That was actually my next question. What inspired your packaging? And if you could just talk a little bit more about the refillable system.
I just had this desire of creating something uniquely beautiful, but still having it be sustainable, because I had seen firsthand as a makeup artist the amount of product I would go through in a year. It's just an enormous amount of plastic that comes from the beauty industry. So it was a desire to do my part.
120 billion units of packaging are basically wasted by the global cosmetics industry every year, which is it's just crazy to hear about.
And I think, it is still a work in progress. I was blessed to work with a packaging designer that I had always been a great fan of, a gentleman called makeover. And I was sharing, my struggles with him in terms of finding material that was truly luxury, yet it had to have sustainability attached to it. And we ended on this refill system. The refills, come from an already recycled pulp. And so that really doesn't leave a lot of waste, and it really minimizes plastic.
So really the last question I have for you is, do you feel that the beauty industry is changing?
I definitely see it changing. I think I've seen a few sort of refill solutions popping up here and there. That was not the case in 2010. The savviness, I'll again go back to your generation, the savviness and expectations. I think social media, that sort of fast visibility into what brands are doing and marketing themselves, vis-a-vis having, private citizens having a much more immediate, stronger voice, has just automatically created a demand. And then certainly understanding that our environment is struggling, like just the amount of plastics, the numbers you referred to before that goes into landfills on a yearly basis. It's just, it's mind-boggling, right? I think this is just going to become the new norm, stepping out of niche altogether. We look at it in a way as a continuous improvement, continuously having a strong DNA in the pool of sustainability, and wanting to do better.
Thank you so much.